Hello and welcome to the channel. And today's video is a overview. I never call it reviews because I'm not really a reviewer, but we do look over the figure, so that's why I call it overviews of the MDLX, or sorry, ThreeZero MDLX Transformers, officially licensed Transformers Rodimus Prime. So for those who know, of course, or just the familiar recap for those who don't, ThreeZero put out licensed Transformers action figures, collectibles, or whatever you want to call it, that don't transform. Um, so other than let's say, I believe the RoboSen, Grimlock and Optimus Prime that released earlier this year. Well, the Grimlock this year, Optimus Prime last year. And I believe the Lego Optimus Prime, Hasbro doesn't license out other companies to make transformable action figures, right? Or convertible. That's why I believe that's why they call it. That's why they put that specify that for the RoboSen figures, right? They're convertible, not transformable. But anyway, the Hasbro licenses out the Transformer license for other companies to make action figures that don't transform. You got ThreeZero, you got Flame Toys that put out the expensive ones. Although ThreeZero does put out some larger expensive ones, but the MDLX line is more like the 12-inch scale, and they released the Optimus Prime. I believe they released the Bumblebee, and then they released this guy, Rodimus Prime, and they also announced around the same time, or a few months later, a Megatron. I didn't like their Optimus. Their Bumblebee looked cool, but the size of the figure is pretty much the same size as all of them, so it's not like they're going for a different scale relative to the figures or the character. So the MDLX, I believe the MDLX Bumblebee is as tall as the regular figures. I could be wrong. I believe they also made a cliff jumper. It's an easy repaint from the Bumblebee, although it does have a different head sculpt. And then, of course, Rodimus here, and Megatron that is coming out also. I may get the Megatron. So I ordered this from Big Bad Toy Store. I made the pre-order. It was on pre-order throughout most of the summer, probably late spring and then into the summer. When I saw the figure at Comic-Con, at the ThreeZero booth, that's what finally convinced me to get this guy. Looking at it in person, I was really impressed. It was hidden behind a glass, so I couldn't really touch it. But just by seeing and looking at it, I was like, I gotta have it. So in speaking to the guys at the booth at ThreeZero, they were saying that it was starting to sell out. The pre-orders were starting to sell out at different retailers. So once I got home that day, I put in my pre-order over at Big Bad Toy Store, and the figure arrived. I believe the figure arrived. I'm recording this on a Saturday. I believe it came in on Monday. Yeah, so I've had it a full week. And so yeah, this obviously we'll look at the figure in full, but let's have a look at the box, the packaging. So it comes in. The figure comes protected with a plastic, not a plastic bag, but a plastic film over the covering the figure to protect it from scratching and whatnot while inserting into the clamshell. But yeah, let's have a look here at the packaging so you can see a cool image of. Let me pull this back. Have some more. A cool image of Rodimus. So again, this is Rodimus, not Hot Rod. There I say right there, Rodimus Prime. 3.0. You can see the MDLX. That's the line. Of course, 3.0 is the brand, the maker. This is the line. Got another image of Rodimus here. And then in the back, some of the accessories that comes with the figure. So they point out that he comes with his laser blaster and blaster rifle, which combine to form the photon eliminator rifle, which is my preferred combination. He does have matrix holding hands, however he does not come with a matrix. It says so right there, not included. This is to hold the matrix that comes with the Optimus, if you have an Optimus, or if you have any of the Hasbro figures that have a matrix, you'll probably be able to hold that comfortably as well. He also comes with what do you call it? Handshake. There you go, the Prime handshake hand. This is just an image. This is to reference an image by Studio Ox that had they did a drawing promo. I don't know if it was for what purpose. Though that drawing, that famous drawing, I'll probably put an image somewhere in the video of for reference. But that's what they're referencing here. And then another image of Rodimus here on the side. So let's just check the contents real quick. So he does come with like a warranty in case of something breaks and whatnot. At first I thought the thing didn't come with the head because the plastic that comes wrapped around the figure, this is the plastic that comes, it's not wrapped, it's just, it's mostly, it came mostly like this, something like that. And then, well, because of how it was wrapped and placed around the figure, it almost looked like he had no head. So I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And I recorded myself opening the figure just to see if it, just for proof, right? And then, the figure did come with the head, thankfully. So it also comes with, not instructions, but more or less just like a guide for all of the things that the figure can do. So it does tell you everything that comes with the figure. It has all of the alternate hands. The wing comes separately, so you just latch that on. It tells you all of the articulation points the figure has. We'll go over those in just a second. And then in the back it tells you more articulation points and how to put together the photon eliminator, right? And how the handshake works, and then how to hold the matrix. Of course, everything comes with in Japanese, so I can't read Japanese, right? So there's that, and then the clamshell. So we have all of the alternate hands. So we got two. The figure comes with two fisted hands. So he also comes with two gripping hands, which is I have one obviously to hold the photon eliminator. He also comes with two splayed out hands, two thumbs up hands, one pointing finger hand, and I believe, and then there's the two matrix holding hands. This little piece is the, oh, it's stuck in there. That's just the other end for when you're using the, when you take the back end portion of the gun. That's, you put that at the front end to have your one of the two rifles, right? So that's the other handle for the other gun, right? And then that's the blue hand goes for the Optimus for the handshake. Yeah, let's focus on this guy. Again, the whole figure comes with a wash over the recessed parts of the to bring out all of that detail. And there's a lot of detail on this guy. It's just I'll just have him hold the gun. But yeah, let's get a closer look on this guy right here. So the face, it does look like a Rodimus compared to say a hot rod that is a lot younger, youthful looking, and the Rodimus does look more aged up, you could say, although he does not look. This does not look like an older Rodimus. We're gonna bring in the latest, the leader or the commander class Rodimus that Hasbro released a couple of years ago for comparisons, right? But yeah, the face is a pretty nice looking Rodimus face. So you can see all of the movement here. So we can have a neck movement other than just the head. You can, as you saw, there is no other alternate head. So again, this is a Rodimus Prime. The detail here on the midsection and the front chest. And he does have a deep ab crunch, although nothing going backwards. He does have waist articulation. I don't think you can. No, it doesn't go 360, but you don't need it to go 360. Let's look at the detail there on the legs and the boots. So this part of the boot moves, and of course you have articulation here at the skirt. So on this flap here, and in the back. Alright, this part. So he does have like a it's not a drop down, but he does lower the hip. You can see the comparison in height. So it's not like a traditional drop down, like say the classified series that has the drop down hips, or certain other action figure lines that have drop down hips. There you go. So you can have them, you know, if you want to keep them taller, you know, if someone releases a I don't know, like a Rodimus head to fit on this guy, you can use the alternate heights, the taller height for a Rodimus, the shorter height for a hot rod. But the intent of the drop down hip is just to get more movement on the leg kick. And then you do have a complete 2 double jointed knee, complete full run. Have a look at the back right here. Here's when you crunch, you reveal more of that spinal detail. Okay, get a good look at the wing. That also has a wash over it on the yellow parts. Oh, and the orange parts as well. Look at the detail there on the back. And then the feet have a rocker. I believe no toe joint, just a rocker ball. It's all on a ball joint, really. So it just gives you all of the movement that you need. So check out some of that side detail there. And then for the arms, you have a butterfly joint, like it showed in the instructions. So you do have a butterfly there. And then you have movement going upwards, like this. The shoulder pad thing here, this also moves. I'm sorry, you're not seeing that. So let's try this again. So you got your elevated movement here at the shoulder, and then this extended part, this part here moves out of the way to give you the full range, almost a full T-pose. You can see there's also like some, they gave them like some, what do they call it? Wear and tear, relicking, or, just so it looks like it's worn. And then the double jointed elbow. Obviously the hands are just full 360. They're on a ball joint, a little tiny ball joint. And then the detail on the arms. You got the exhaust pipe going there. There goes the there goes the wing. I might as well show you how that goes. You just attach it by pressure. It's all in just one position. You can't raise it or lower it. Just one position. And then there's this articulation point here on the forearm that you can move around. So I guess the purpose for this is if you want to like give them a more traditional look, you can remove it. Or you have the exposed side pipes, exhaust pipes, right? Or you do have the little ball popping out. But again, that's just an option, I guess. You can also remove the skirts, right? If you don't like that look, you know. But again, it just leaves that ball exposed there on the hip. I always fear those little tiny ball joints because they're so tiny. They almost look like you can break them easily, but surprisingly, they're very resilient. And all of the joints and everything on the figure is really stiff. Well, not stiff in the sense that it's not super loose, but they're, you do feel the resistance. That's what I'm basically trying to say. It's not super floppy or anything. You can hold the pose really nice. And then let's have a look at the gun in detail. A closer look at the gun. Although it doesn't have the traditional wings that the Rodimus, the photon eliminator has. That's the only detail that I wish it had. So it separates from this point here. Let me see. It's easier. There you go. So it separates at that point right there. When the other piece that was in the clamshell, that's where it attaches to right there to form the other piece to complete this rifle. And then he just holds on to this rifle, this part of the other rifle. But like I said, I prefer if it's Rodimus, he's got to have the photon eliminator. So there is no other option. So let me just bring in the other Rodimus that I have in my collection for comparison. All right, let's start off, I guess, with a hot rod. So we're starting off with the Studio Series 86 hot rod. I've already done some I've already done some customizing on this guy. I've done some repaints. I'll show you guys in another video in the future what I've done to this guy. But here you have him compared to the MDLX version. You can see the size difference. I don't see my ruler here, so I can't really tell how. Oh wait, I do have tape measure. So this guy is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just a tad over 7 inches to the head, and to the wing about 7 3/4. So that's how he looks next to hot rod, to Studio Series 86 hot rod. And then we have the Power of the Primes hot rod, which I used for a long time as my stand-in Rodimus. And then finally, I think the comparison most people will want to do with the what is it? Earthrise Commander class Rodimus Prime. And you can see he pretty much almost the same height. Still a little taller, the MDLX, the 3.0, but not by much. So if you missed out, if you don't really transform your figures and missed out on the Commander class Rodimus and need a Rodimus Prime in your collection, this guy isn't so bad. As far as this guy, of course, as a stand-in. You know, it's way more stylized, of course, than the Hasbro version. Again, this is more like the traditional Japanese super robot type stylings, right? And then just for another comparison with quote-unquote masterpiece. So this is the Fans Toys Hoodlum, which is again a stand-in Rodimus Prime for your Chug collection. But this guy is definitely taller. He is actually, I've never actually measured him, so I don't know how big he is. He's closer to 7.5, a little over 7.5 inches to the head. So about half an inch taller. I think that's about the only other comparison. I guess if you can compare him to an Optimus Prime, and you bring down Optimus. So this is the Earthrise Optimus. So if you don't mind your Rodimus Primes being slightly taller, he's not, again, he's not too tall by too much, you know. So it's not a bad. They can't. You know, I may try and see if I can do the handshake because this guy's hand does open. So I don't know if the alternate hand will work on this guy. Let me see. Let me just pause for 1 second. All right. So there you go. You can kind of pull off the handshake pose using the Earthrise Optimus. Although the grip on the hand is, because of how the hand is shaped for the Rodimus, can't really get in there he can't really hold on to the Optimus hand too tightly, too well, as far as, you know. So he's holding on to Optimus hand but by the fingers. All right, so it's almost like this instead of like a full handshake. But you can pull it off if you want to. One other thing that I forgot to show off, since we did have the Optimus Prime here and the other, the Rodimus Prime, the Hasbro Rodimus Prime, as I mentioned earlier, the holding hands can hold on to the matrix. So you can have him lighting our Daka Star. That's it. All right, so yeah, there you have it. There you have the ThreeZero MDLX Rodimus Prime. I believe the figure is 79. I'll have to check. I don't recall. I'll put up a screenshot of the listing. But yeah, it's not super expensive for what it is. Of course, it is an import figure. But it's also not super expensive like a masterpiece because it doesn't transform. It's just an action figure. Basic articulation and all of that. Oh, basic plus articulation. But it's a really nice paint job, of course, throughout. As you saw, highly articulated and everything. So it has everything you would need except for the transformation. So if that's not something that bothers you, I would say pick the figure up. If you're a fan of the character, like I am, pick him up. Otherwise, you know, if you don't need a super stylized Rodimus Prime, then I guess you can pass him up. But I am glad that I got him. I actually think he looks really cool, and I have no problem displaying him with my other Transformer collection. So, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.